Have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens in the 500 milliseconds it takes to tap your card at a checkout terminal? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the physical engineering and the invisible digital networks that power the modern payment cards sitting in your pocket right now. We tap, we click, we swipe all day long, but there is this massive, hidden ecosystem running quietly in the background that most of us never even think about. So, quick question for you. How many types of payment cards can you actually name? Take a second. Go ahead and count them out in your head. I'd bet good money that if you're like the vast majority of people, you probably hit a total brick wall after 2 or 3. Yep, most people stop exactly right here. You've got your debit card, your credit card, and maybe a prepaid gift card you got for your birthday. But stopping there completely misses the point. The reality of this global payments ecosystem is wildly more complex. We're actually talking about at least 12 distinct types and technologies working perfectly together to move money across the world in fractions of a second. Okay, let's map out these 12 technologies across 4 logical categories to reveal this hidden ecosystem. 1, where the money comes from. 2, the technology inside. 3, strategic card partnerships. And 4, why these distinctions matter. Section 1, where the money comes from. The 4 fundamental ways transactions are funded. It's pretty fascinating to see how money fundamentally flows depending on the specific card in your hand. With a debit card, you're using your own money, right? It's deducted straight from your checking account. With a credit card, you're essentially borrowing the issuer's funds, which lets you repay later while often racking up rewards. Now, a charge card might look identical to a credit card, but there is zero revolving balance. You absolutely have to pay the full amount due by the end of the billing cycle. And then we have prepaid cards. These are funded entirely in advance with no credit line attached at all. So they're incredibly common for things like managing payroll, giving gift cards, or having safe travel spending money. Section 2, the technology inside, the digital mechanics of modern payments. Now let's peel back the physical layers. You might not even hold a physical card at all these days. Virtual cards are completely digital-only credentials, and they are an absolute game changer for control and security, especially when we're talking about e-commerce and B2B payments. Think about it. If a virtual card number gets compromised online, you literally just delete it and generate a new one. No waiting for a piece of plastic to show up in the mail. And building on that, when you double-click your phone at the register to use Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Samsung Wallet, you are relying on tokenized technology. Network tokenization swaps out your actual 16-digit primary account number for a secure, mathematically generated token. So the merchant never, ever sees your real account details. Even if their entire system gets hacked, the bad guys just get useless single-use gibberish. But what about when you do use physical plastic? Well, the EMV microchip embedded inside is doing some unbelievable heavy lifting. Remember the old magnetic stripes? They just held static data, which made them insanely easy for criminals to copy using basic card skimmers. The EMV chip completely changed the game. It uses dynamic data authentication to generate a unique, one-time cryptographic hash for every single transaction. It's essentially a mathematical handshake. Because of this, even if someone intercepts that specific transaction data, they can never reuse it for another payment. And that brings us to the actual hardware engineering of how we interact with terminals. Contactless cards use NFC, or near-field communication. And this is so incredibly cool. The card actually powers itself without a battery. The point-of-sale terminal generates an electromagnetic field that induces a microscopic electrical current in tiny wire loops hidden inside the card, which powers up the chip for a fast tap. Then you've got dual-interface cards. These house both that clever contactless antenna loop and the traditional contact pads for inserting the chip, giving you the absolute best of both worlds in one single piece of plastic. Section 3, strategic card partnerships. Who the card is actually designed for. Depending on exactly who you are, the ecosystem completely adapts. You might be carrying a corporate card that your company issued strictly to manage business travel and employee expenses, or maybe you have a co-branded card in your wallet. This is where a massive bank partners directly with your favorite airline, hotel, or major brand to offer you highly targeted loyalty rewards. Then there are private label cards. These are totally locked down. They only work within a specific retailer's network, and they're engineered from the ground up to keep you firmly inside their specific ecosystem and guarantee your loyalty to that brand. Section 4. Why these distinctions matter. The real-world stakes of card technology. Look, these aren't just trivial tech specs. This is the invisible rulebook of global commerce. Every combination of these technologies dictates exactly how your data flows through the five-party payment system, from you to the merchant, to the payment gateway, to the global card network, and finally to your issuing bank. This entire chain decides who assumes the financial risk if a fraudster steals the card. It determines how interchange fees, which run anywhere from 1.5% to 3%, are calculated and split, which ultimately impacts the prices we all pay at the store. And remember, issuing banks are running massive AI fraud detection algorithms evaluating all of this in under 100 milliseconds. As our source material points out, that is the part of the payments conversation many people overlook. We have evolved from simple paper Diners Club cards in the 1950s to modern silicon microcomputers. And we get so used to the sheer, frictionless convenience of a tap that we completely miss this unbelievable global infrastructure quietly running the show. So, I want to leave you with this final thought to really spark your curiosity. Pull out just one card from your physical wallet, or open up the digital wallet on your phone right now. Take a real look at it. How many of these 12 distinct technologies is it actually representing? And more importantly, do you think physical cards are going to eventually fade away entirely into our smartphones? Or is that piece of plastic going to keep evolving into its own specialized ambient security device? Once you understand this hidden ecosystem, I guarantee you will never look at a simple payment the same way again. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.